Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the dance floor. As I said, I'm happy to be back on the podcast mic with you all after a few weeks off. And thank you for all that have tuned into the first few episodes since I've been back from Europe. It means an absolute lot. If you guys haven't left a review on our Spotify, Apple, or even YouTube page, please do. And don't forget to give us a subscribe. It means the absolute world to us, and that's how we grow here. So thank you so much. Now, without further ado, where do I start with this man that we have on today's show? Now, the career this man has had to go on to have is nothing short of amazing, but having seen firsthand, having worked with him as a teenager and even as a young adult, this was one of the guys in my eyes that didn't leave an inch on the field and never left a stone unturned. He's worked so hard. He's dedicated everything to be where he is, and no doubt he's feeling all the rewards now. But the man is our Socceroo and Columbus Crew defender, Milos Degenek. Now, Millsy, how are you, brother?
Good, mate. Good, mate. First, I want to thank you for having me on your show, and I want to obviously wish your show and all you guys in your crew all the best, and hope to see you guys grow over the next couple of years, weeks, months, or however it is, and become a podcast like Joe Rogan's one that everyone will listen to. Obviously, I wish you a lot of success with that and everyone, and I hope you guys reach your full potential and your level, and you have a good time doing that as well, mate.
What a guy. So you've already set the tone of the type of person this man is, and we're going to go into that. But for those that don't know, Milos has obviously played over 35 times for the Socceroos. He's played in Serbia, Japan, Germany, the Middle East as well, and obviously now in America, in Saudi Arabia. So he's been everywhere. But most of all, we played together at the AIS and in the young national teams. So we do have a history. But just naming off all those countries that you've played in at the age of 28, I mean, it's pretty unique, pretty special, bro.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's pretty, like you said, it's pretty unique. It's been a pretty big trip around the world. Couple of years at every station, and some players are fortunate enough, like the Tottis or Casillas and these big guys, to stay at certain clubs for 10, 15, 20 years, and that's something short of a miracle. That's something amazing. That's something that everyone would have loved to have happened in their career. But sometimes you just follow your heart, you follow your path that's, I guess, written for you, and you have to kind of go that way. But yeah, it's been pretty amazing. I've been everywhere, and I've still got some other moves and things I'd like to see and do as well. And obviously, football career is not too long. Can't play until I'm 50, but I'd love to play as long as I can.
I've got a feeling you will.
I'd love to, mate. I'd love to. I'd love to be like King Kazu in Japan, who's 52. Still rolling around.
Yeah, that's got to something's corrupt about that. Surely that guy's not leading the line at 55, man. Like, that's ridiculous, bro.
I think he gets a couple of minutes a game, mate, but that's special, mate. Even like Ibrahimovic at 40 years of age, after 2 or 3 knee reconstructions, that's a specimen, mate. That's an athlete. That's ridiculous.
Just speaking on the likes of Zlatan and those people that play on in their later years. One thing you've always been good at, and particularly as a kid, you were probably the most professional when it came to like taking care of yourself, recovery. I'm not going to go into the lollies you ate, but like just in general, you were a very professional kid growing up. Are you still that way now, even more strict than what you used to be?
Yeah, mate. I think I've grown into being even probably more strict, just because the fact that, sport in general has become so brutal, mate. Especially football's become so brutal. It's just like game after game after game, and training sessions are intense and things like that. And, when you get older, you got to do all the little things to make sure your body stays ready and fit. And there's seasons like, say, two and a bit years ago, I think 2018-19 season and the 19-20 season, where I had, 58 or 62 game seasons, and that's basically playing Saturday, Wednesday for a good 40 odd weeks, and that's just takes a toll, mate, and you just become wrecked after a while. So your ice baths, your massages, your all sorts of treatments, just sleep in general, mate. And I'm a big guy on like recovery, but like sometimes it's not just sleep. I do go for extra jogs just to make sure that my legs and the blood flow gets going, and it's a massive part of the game, mate. And you'd know as well, A lot of footballers do a lot of extra things, and sometimes even people think sometimes doing a lot more is better, but sometimes just having a day off or two is better for the body, just for it to recover.
I'm surprised.
Which I learned the hard way.
I'm surprised you said that, because I was about to call you out on it. The king of like overdoing training from memory was you. But in hindsight, like that's what when I talk about you never left the stone unturned, or you put everything out on the field type thing.
Mate, I'm 100% grateful for the fact that I used to train extra and more than everyone else, because I somehow fell into like a trap of believing that when I was sleeping, there were kids elsewhere in the world training and that I was losing. So I just was like, well, while they're sleeping, I have to train to gain on them, and just kind of wanted to train because I knew I wasn't the most technically gifted or the quickest or the best player in the world, but I knew that to achieve any sort of level of becoming a professional footballer, you have to leave no stone unturned, and you have to basically give everything you got. And I've trained with a lot of better players. I've been through academies, I guess, in Germany as well, with a lot of better players that didn't make it, and obviously some did, but some that haven't, that were a lot better than me. And I come out and I've been to a World Cup, I've been to an Asian Cup, I've played for the national team, I've played Champions League, Europa League, I've won titles, cups and things like that. And it's just because I guess I believed in the fact that just hard work beats talent, because talent, it's a saying, but it's actually true, because talent gets you to a certain point, but hard work gets you over the line, and hard work gets you recognition. And, that's what a lot of people respect in the football world, is just the fact that you're being a professional, you're hardworking, you listen, basically a soldier, mate.
Yeah.
Basically, a modern-day soldier that doesn't go to war but plays football.
It is. And do you know what? It's like, especially when you would have been playing for like Red Star Belgrade, all those games, it would have felt like you're at war as well, in a sense. I can imagine. Yeah.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. And it's something that, I'm very proud of as well. Played 135, 36, not sure how many games at the club, childhood club that everyone in my family loved, that I loved. And to be able to play 2 Champions Leagues and 2 Europa Leagues and, win 3 or 4 titles, win 2 cups, it's an amazing feeling, mate. And I guess it's a dream come true in the club football world.
Yeah, well, there you go, people. He's just reeled off pretty much all the best leagues and the biggest leagues in the world that he's played in, and trying to tell us that he's not talented. But I will say Milos technically was one of the more superior players that from a young age, always. But like anyone, the combination of talent with hard work. If you didn't make it, bro, then I would have been like, then there's no formula to make it, because you had all the right things. The only thing was, it's like you want it too much at times. It was like, or maybe you just need to chill out. And that was like the message everyone at the AAS was trying to tell you. Is like, bro, you just like the days off, just stop running, because we did like 15 Ks or had a game yesterday, and you're like, no, I'll go for a jog or a sauna. And
saunas were the best, mate. But I tell you another thing that like fuck has me like, I've got the fear of a scale, right? Like, when you step on a scale and you see a weight.
Yes, you did have this.
I have a fear of I'm 28, mate, and I have a fucking fear of stepping on a scale and looking at my weight. I dread the days, even now when I go to the club and I have to step on a scale. I'm not fat, right? I'm lean. I've got like, I don't know, 4 or 5% body fat, right? So I'm not fat. I'm lean. I'm fit. I can run. I'm healthy. But I fucking hate stepping on a scale. Why? So when we were at the AIS, right, Gary Van Egmond, who we used to do skin folds, if you remember,
yeah.
And once I had like 55 or 54 skin folds, and the bloke made me go like 6:30 in the morning for bike sessions, mate, on Thursdays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and I was just like, bro, I'm 14.
Yeah.
Let a man eat, bro. Let a person be a kid, right?
Yeah.
Since then, I've had a fear of like scales and doing these body composition tests and seeing how fat you are. Mate, that's why I hated doing that, like, testing and all that, because he just kind of put a fear in me, man.
Yeah. He's put a fear in me too, bro, because you might remember this story, because I didn't really get injured much at the AIS. Like, I was kind of like you. I dedicated everything there. But I got injured.
And I was, sorry, mate. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay, bro.
To be really honest, mate, I was, out of all the guys there, and that I really did respect you highly, and I actually believed, and you did play at a certain level in the A-League, and I was actually disappointed that you stopped and that you didn't want to pursue your dreams, because I knew you were mate. And even now, mate, I won't lie to you, mate. Even now, when I'm in the Socceroos and there's a fair few boys there that know you, we talk about certain guys and certain upbringings for us and the players that we played with that aren't playing professional, some that are. Mate, you have a lot of respect from a lot of the boys in the Socceroos, and a lot of them say that you're one of the most gifted players back then, and it's actually like, I know it's probably shit from me to say this, and I know it hurts you more than it would hurt me or anyone else that you haven't pursued your dreams or you didn't make it to a certain level, and it probably hurts you more than anyone. But it's not me being a bad person and like rubbing it in your face. It's just me being, how it is, like kind of touched, because I know you could have and you should have, but obviously I don't know why you didn't and what happened. Obviously there's luck and there's certain things that you need in the football world, but a lot of us have a lot of respect for you, mate. And a lot of us think that you could have and should have been at a very good level, because we know you were, especially I know, mate, at AIS, I used to call you Scholesy, mate, going to games. You remember that?
Hey, bro, I appreciate those words, man. They mean a lot. Yeah, look,
right.
there's a lot of reasons, not to dabble into it, but there's a lot, man, a lot of moving reasons. But at the end of the day, one of the biggest lessons I got, man, and this is true, and to be honest, the realization was probably only a couple of years ago, because I had a lot of injuries, a lot of issues I had like 5 or 6 coaches in my 3 years in the A-League, and I got to a point where I was just traveling around the world trialing and not getting a contract. And I kind of gave up in a sense, bro, because I was like mentally exhausted and like, because I wanted it so bad and it wasn't working out. All my identity and like feeling as a human being was like just disapparating off the field. And it was my biggest mistake I ever made, because I didn't realize I was 21. But I will say, bro, I met a guy, I did a podcast with a guy who used to play AFL here, and he was like one of the high draft picks and whatever. He played like 20 games. He never made it. But now he's like got the biggest independent marketing company in Australia. And I was like, bro, what's like your biggest success? Like he's a multimillionaire now. I'm like, what's your biggest success to? And he's like, failing at football, because he goes, I learned it was okay to fail. And bro, because I never forgave myself for it until I heard that. So
that's so true, mate. That's so true, because like it hurts, mate. And like I've got things in my life that hurt me. I can tell you 20 stories of my footballing world that could have and should have, and I think that would have been different. Like I wouldn't have been sitting here in America. Maybe would have been in, I don't know, give it an example, maybe Aston Villa, West Ham, or somewhere in Germany or Italy, if I had the right people around me, right? So you have to accept the fact, like your friend said, you have to accept the fact that you failed and move on, because if you dwell on one thing too much, mate, you get caught in a cycle, man. It just keeps going and going.
Yeah, bro. Correct,
and
bro.
it just becomes a hassle. It just becomes a hassle. It's just the same thing with everyday life, mate. And I had the same thing not long ago when I was playing in Serbia, obviously being at a club that I put in the Champions League 2 times. I won 3-4 titles, 2 cups, and then come into a situation where had a legend of the football world, Dejan Stankovic, who was at Inter Milan. He was our coach, and to come to a club that I've given everything and then to just be kind of pushed aside and then train alone, train somewhere else. And I was like, mate, I brought this club 2 Champions Leagues. I brought this club 2 Europa Leagues, 4 titles, 2 cups. And I'm like, do I really deserve this at 27, 26, 27? I'm like,
no.
I'm not arrogant. I'm not a big name. But at that club, I've done something. I'm not like, and it just hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, obviously, I haven't failed, but I have to let go and I have to accept the fact that I won't play while he's here. So I did my thing, and I just went straight to the club and said, look, I can't do this, because I didn't want to embarrass myself.
Yeah.
I didn't want to let players play that maybe don't deserve to play just because he didn't take a liking to me as I was, because I've come across a lot of coaches in the world, and every coach I've come across is just like, oh, mate, you're very professional. You never laugh. You never have fun. You never do nothing. And I'm like, my fun is the 90 or 120 minutes I spend in training. That is me having fun. Me doing a tackle, me winning a header, doing a good pass, me running. That's me having fun. Maybe I don't joke. Maybe I don't take the piss out of someone. Maybe I don't, put megs on someone or dribble 5 plays and score a goal. I don't do that. But I'll win a header, I'll tackle, I'll do this. You know what I mean? That's me having fun. And a lot of people try to calm me down and say, you got to enjoy it more. I'm like, yeah, but I enjoy this. This is me enjoying football. It's hat off to you, mate. That and like your friend, he failed in AFL and he's become a multi-millionaire in his own business. I guess there's nothing stopping you from doing the same in your dreams, in your aspirations of having a really good podcast. And not just that, mate, but I see you working with the Victory, and there's a million opportunities made in the world, and the world's made like that for the people that want to succeed, and for the people that want to work. They'll always have an opportunity. They'll always open a door somewhere for you to make money. But I kind of look at it, if you just follow the money, you'll never make the money.
Correct.
You gotta have fun, mate. You gotta have fun. And touching up about money, if I followed money, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. I probably wouldn't have a wife. I wouldn't have a daughter, because in 2019, in June, July, I was in Saudi Arabia from January until July, right? And I had a very good contract in Saudi Arabia. And they brought in a new prince, brought in a new coach, and the coach wanted a new Asian central defender. So they brought in a Korean central defender, who's hat off to him, who's one of the best central defenders I've played with or come up against. Very good player. And he's still at the club. When I left, he's still there. I had an offer from China. At the time, China was peaking, right? So I had an offer, $3.2 million a year for 3.5 years. And that's around, what, $10-11 million in 3.5 years. Easy work, right? And I was like, well, if I go to China and take the money, I kind of lose myself as a person being 25, kind of like, how am I going to find a wife? How am I going to have kids? I mean, no disrespect, right? I could obviously go over and fly people in and have fun and all sorts of shit, but that's not me, right? That's not me. And I could have done that. I would have had $10-11 million right now and probably would have had my feet up and wouldn't care about a thing in the world. But I decided to go back to Serbia to play for around 500,000-600,000 euros a year. And met my wife, have a baby, have a second one on the way, and I'm a happy guy, right? I'm a happy person. I've still got everything I ever wanted. And the only thing I ever wanted was to have a normal family. In terms of things outside of football, right, is to have a normal family. But in terms of football, is to achieve your dreams, is to just play week in, week out. It doesn't matter where you play. And, if I chased the money, I would have obviously been in China. Would have been able to take care of everyone around me, all my friends and all my family. But even this way, mate, I've still taken care of my family. I've taken care of all the people that I love, all the people that mean a lot to me. I've always helped out. Yourself, mate, I would have flown you in here to watch a game, mate, because I couldn't care less. You know what? $2,000, $3,000, $5,000. You'll make that. I'll make that. You'll make that in a week or 2 weeks or a day or 2 days. Doesn't matter. But it's about having the right people around you. And funny enough, when I say that, sorry, I'm talking just
a lot of different topics. This is great.
A lot of different topics. As I'm saying, you got to have the right people around you, right? You must have heard it. You guys must have heard it with Paul Pogba, right, and his brother.
Bro, have you seen that? What is going on there, deal, man? Right?
And I've got a teammate here who's French, so I'm like to him, because he's obviously French and he looks at the media, and there's always local people would know a little bit more than what me and you and anyone else would know. So I'm like, bro, is it serious? Like that his older brother is asking him for money? Like is he gonna really do stupid things because of money?
Yeah, so just to touch on this, to explain to people what's going on here. So Paul Pogba has two brothers, and one of them that actually both of them play professional football, but one of them,
the older one's come out and
the oldest brother has come out on a video and said he's going to reveal all these secrets about Paul Pogba and his agent, and that there's things that he's faking injuries or he's doing match fixing and telling players what to do and all this stuff. And he's saying Paul Pogba shouldn't be idolized and the role model that he is to all these fans because of all these actions, and he's going to reveal it all. And Paul, this is like absolute revelation, because then you split an image and his brother's with him after the 2018 World Cup final, kissing the World Cup with Paul Pogba. So
unbelievable.
We don't know what the truth is here.
Right. So I asked my friend, so I'm like, to this guy here, I'm like, so is there a story behind it? He goes, yeah, there's something been going on for the last couple of years, right? And he's like, his brother has just been wanting a lot more money than what Paul's been giving him, right? So before Paul was married and had a wife and kids, Paul was obviously living with his brother and his family. And you know how it is, mate. If you're single, you buy a car, obviously when you're at that level earning, 40, 50 million a year, You buy a car, you buy them a car. You buy nice clothes, you buy them clothes. You buy a nice watch, they buy a watch. Wherever you go, they go. You're in the spotlight, they're in the spotlight, you know? And my friend told me, like, when Paul got married and all this, I don't know, obviously this is true, but this is just like what he's told me. He's like, Paul's like, well, look, I've got a wife, I've got 2 or 3 kids, you know, this is my family now. I can't be going around and giving you a couple of 100,000 or a couple of million to do what you want. And apparently his brother's like, his older ones, like, his younger brother really loves him. But his older ones apparently come out and said, well, why didn't your agent get me a big club if you got a big club? And Paul's like, yeah, but there's a difference between me and you, mate. You know, like, why don't I have an And his brother's like, why don't I have an Adidas contract? And all this, and Paul's like, mate, this is different. You know what I mean? And obviously, it's the most painful thing in the world, I reckon, that family turns on you, right?
Do you know who probably has good insight on this is BJ, Brennan Hamill, because doesn't he play with the brother or the younger brother? One of the brothers is playing with him in India.
Yeah, the younger one.
Yeah, so it's not the one in the film, Sen.
No, the older one is the one that's come out, and Matthias is the older one, and I think BJ plays with Florentine, the younger one.
Yeah, that's right.
But either way, mate, it's just like, if your own brother can turn on you, right? If your own brother can turn on you, then there's not one person in this world that you are safe to have as like a friend or whatever. I mean, obviously everyone's culture, family is different, but like if your brother's turning on you, bro, where are we in this world? What have we come down to? Like, does the whole world operate on like how much money you have?
Yeah.
Right. It's not about money, bro. It's it's just about being happy.
Yeah.
I honestly, I live like that, mate. I have a house. I've got a lovely car. I sold a lovely car. I bought a new lovely car. I've got the watches. I've got the clothes. But like, I got to a point where I was just like, I've done everything I wanted when I was single, is the cars, houses, watches, clothes. And now I've got a family. For me, it's about like, I couldn't care less, mate, if I walk around with a Swatch watch or a Rolex, or if I walk with New Balance shoes or Balenciagas or whatever, mate. As long as my little one is going to have a roof on her head and food on the table, that for me is the ultimate, mate. And that's happiness, right? For me, that's happiness, right? It's coming home after training and my little one looking at me and smiling, and my wife being happy that she's my wife, right? And not marrying me because I was a footballer, as I said before, but marrying me because I was an all person. And again, touching on that, like, when I met my wife, I was in Serbia and she was in Serbia, and I won't lie to you, and me being in Serbia was like playing at Red Star Belgrade is the biggest club in the Balkan region.
You would have been like the biggest, like one of the biggest celebrities.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much, right? So it was like wherever I went, people were like, photo, this, that. Right, so I met my wife, right? We went for a walk. It was late at night, and she didn't want to actually meet me. So it was a funny
story of your teenage years there.
Bro, literally, I was the ugliest human being when I was young. I was like,
no, you were just shy, bro.
I actually was shy, and I kissed a girl. First time I kissed a girl was 18, mate. So
yeah, because you would have turned down a date back at 18 to go for a run in a sauna with like 3 layers of coats, mate. On. That's I swear to God, I'm not lying here. That's 100% the truth. You know it too.
100% the truth. That is 100% the truth. So I met my wife, right, and we've gone around for a walk and blah blah blah, and then we ended up going to a restaurant, and like these people come around, take a photo with me. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 people, right? Then the waiter's like, oh, how's things? How's the game? How's everything? Like, just being nice. And my wife's looking at me. Well, at that time, my girlfriend, right? She's looking at me. She's like, oh, well, who are you, right? And I'm like, I'm not going to run around with the sign in my hand saying I'm a professional footballer. If you want to be with me, hit me up, whatever, So my wife, so we finished dinner, blah, blah, and my wife's like, why are these people taking photos with you?
She didn't know who you were. You're joking.
I got honest truth, mate. Wow. And she had not a single clue who I was. And I was like, I just play football. And she's like, well, why do people want to take photos with football players? What's so special about that? And I'm like, well, I don't know.
That's music to my ears.
I was like, I don't know why. Why do they want to take photos? I don't know. Maybe they love the club or whatever. And we just kept dating, and she just didn't understand. I took her to a game. There was about 55, 60,000 people. Took her to a game, right? She was like, why is there so many people going to a football game? Like, all you guys do is run for 90 minutes. Why are they watching the game? It took her a good 6 to 8 months to realize that football is like the second biggest thing in the world. Yeah, it's the second biggest thing in the world, right? You had COVID, and then the first thing you had apart from COVID was everyone was like, oh my God, what's going to happen with the football world?
Yeah.
Right? So,
yeah.
Like, we were the only ones that continued playing without fans or, like, it just had to keep going.
Mm.
She was like, wow, I didn't know that this was this big. But then I was lucky that I didn't meet one that just really liked me because of the money.
Oh, bro, it'd be hard. You know what? You've said a lot of valuable things in that. Like, it would have been extremely hard to turn down a major offer from China. And for people that don't understand Saudi Arabian football, just like think of like the Live Golf setup that's going on now, the types of money they're throwing at those golfers to kind of create this rebel golf league. That kind of gives you an insight of how much money's in the Saudi Arabian football league as well.
Mate, it's ridiculous. Like, I was, just to touch up on this, like I was with Sebastian Jovinko, and everyone probably in the world of football would know this, 9.7 million a year, I think he was on.
Is that, wow, that's insane. That's insane.
That is like, what do you do, bro? Like, what do you do with that much money?
That's why he left City at like mid-20s or whatever, or wherever he was, because he's just getting so much coin thrown at him. But this comes to your point, right? You've kind of essentially turned down an offer like that to follow a more true path to yourself in football, which, man, I defy anyone to be in your shoes and turn that shit down, because it's life-changing in a sense. Yeah, it's hard.
It's definitely hard, mate, because like there's even things now that I look at and I'm like, well, if I took that offer, I would have maybe bought this car, I would have bought that house, or maybe I would have helped this person, I would have helped this person, and like, but then I sit back and I'm like, well, mate, if someone asked me 15 years ago whether I want to be in this situation I'm in now, and I think I would have taken it. Playing professional football, playing for your country, just being a normal person, being open-hearted and just being normal, that's normal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to take a quick pause in this episode, which I hope you're enjoying, to acknowledge our partners. Now, this episode is brought to you by Manscaped. Now, none of us like having sweaty sacks, and the king of crotch comfort, Manscaped, have actually spent 2 years designing some pretty cool boxer briefs. Now, I have had the opportunity of wearing these boxer brief, and they are some of the softest and most comfortable fabric that I have ever wore in any underwear. I do support what they do from a holistic part of their products. I've used a lot of their products and they are fantastic. But their new boxer briefs specifically, they actually give you gills on your groins, so they're breathable. So I implore you to get out there, use our discount code to start purchasing them. You'll get 20% off plus free worldwide shipping with the discount code UNLACED on manscaped.com. That's unlaced at manscaped.com for 20% off and worldwide free shipping. So get some boxer brief and some other product while you're at it. Let's get back into the episode. Now, I want to ask you about Columbus Crew and Major League Soccer. So, one, obviously a pretty unique move, right? Because you just played in Europe, and we'll touch on like some of the Champions League experience, but you've been to a World Cup, you played in Europe, you're 28. One, what was the reason why you chose Columbus Crew? And then secondly, like what's your view of the league now that you've sort of played half a season or 3/4 of a season there?
Obviously, in January, I terminated my contract because of certain reasons that I had and whatever. And then I had offers to stay in Europe. I had offers to go to Korea. And then, mate, to be honest, when I sat down and had a Zoom meeting with the coach here, with the general manager, the scout, and my agent, mate, I'll send you this on Instagram or WhatsApp. I'll send you the video that I got sent. And, mate, it's the video of the training center, the new stadium, the facilities they have, the way they work. And just I bought into the idea that this is so professional and it's just a fucking unbelievable working environment. Like for footballers, it's an unreal environment, Jake. Like you won't believe it, mate.
Really?
Obviously being in England, you've been in England, you've maybe been to some clubs and their training centers, they look unreal. And we see some on TV, but this is like world-class training facilities. It's unreal. And I was just like, mate, I want to go somewhere where I'm going to be respected. I want to go somewhere where it's going to give me the best chance to improve my game, Like, it might sound funny. Like, why would you go to America to improve your game? But why not, mate? Like, if America does anything in the world, they do it to be the best in the world, no?
Correct.
Like, NBA, they're the best in the world, right? They do music, the best in the world. They do movies, the best in the world. They do, I don't know, sending spaceships in the world, NASA things, they're the best in the world. Internet, they invented. Computers, they invented. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they start something, they're going to do it, but they're doing it with an end goal to be the best in the world at it. Obviously, to be the best in the world in football it's a long process. It's not going to be like, oh, well, they're going to win the World Cup in 4 years when they host it. No, maybe, but
Gee, they are good though. They are a very good team though.
They are a good team. It is a long shot, but the thing is, like, the game here is on absolute rise, mate. Like, you don't have Insigne, Bernardeschi, Bale, Chiellini, these players here just for the money and for the life. They love it. Like, the game's really good. And you get players like, over the last, I think, 3 or 4 transfer windows, the MLS has sold an unbelievable amount of players. Like, and I'm not saying sold players for a couple of 100,000. Like, I'm saying sold players to Chelsea, sold players to AZ Alkmaar, sold players to Bayern Munich. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's massive.
It's massive, bro. It's watched. Like, all the clubs have stadiums that are football-based stadiums, 20, 30,000 seater stadiums. Training facilities unreal. The league sponsored by Adidas. Everyone's got Adidas gear. It's not like the pitches are immaculate. It's not like you go, oh, I'm going to go to some village and play a game, or I'm going to go over here and play a game. Mate, every game it's televised. It's like advertised. The players are top notch, mate, and it's really, really good. And here you have a lot of technically gifted players, and the league's really quick, really open. Like, you know, a lot of leagues in the world, it's like 1-0, 2-1, 1-0, 1-1. Here, if a game can finish 5-4, it's going to finish 5-4.
Yeah.
Like, it's so open. And here, a lot of games are decided in the last 15 minutes. Like, I've had a game, like the second game of the season, winning 3-1 in the 89th minute. We ended up drawing 3-3, bro. Like,
I was just about to say, no one's really safe in that last 10 minutes, are they? Because the amount of goals that I see scored and like all these thrilling comebacks, they always seem to be hovering around the MLS. So it's funny you say that.
It's the best, mate. And that's why it's so fun to play. That's why the people love it, man. I think, I honestly do, like the FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, said that he thinks that football will be the number 1 sport in the US in the next couple of years. And I honestly think it will. And I honestly think it will, because it's growing so much and the league's growing, and it's just so good, mate. Like, I would recommend it to everyone to come out. Like, it's not an easy place to come into, because they won't take, obviously, if you're a Chiellini, Sergio Ramos, you've got the name, but they're not going to want to take a 35, 34-year-old who's, I don't know, played the second league somewhere just because they think it's the MLS, or they're going to want to take me. Nah, mate, you have to be really good quality. Yeah. And that's why I love it, and I really enjoy it, mate. And the guys in the change room, second to none, mate. Guys are unreal. Like, teammates are really good people. The club's really good. They help you with everything, mate. And it's a good environment.
Mate, well, it's awesome. You've started off well. You're playing consistently, so I know you'll be happy. But but just on that quickly, you mentioned some of the names that are attracting to the league. Like, obviously, Gareth Bale coming. Even the big ones like Wayne Rooney's come back to coach. You got Chiellini, you got Vela, and there's all these players. Like, Vela's been this well and truly into his prime. Giovinco came quite young. You know, it's just
Chicharito's
Chicharito's here too.
Like,
I mean,
even the move last week where Ricky Puig from Barcelona. Like, you think an 18, 19-year-old from Barcelona's academy to come to the LA Galaxy is like, well, could he not have gone to Valencia, Villarreal, or West Ham or somewhere? You know, like, he decides to come here because obviously they're doing something right. You know what I mean? Like, it's massive, mate. It's massive, and I think like that grows the league as well. The fact that these guys are here, the league's growing, and it's just become more attractive. And like, from what I've heard, Messi's gonna come here in the future, and Neymar wants to come here, Pogba wants to come here. You know, like, it's gonna be shambles.
I forgot to mention Inter Miami too. They're going to be loaded with some of those players. They've got Higuain and Matuidi and everyone like that. I mean, there's going to be a loaded team eventually.
That team is the one that's probably going to have like the Messi's, Pogba's and all that, just lavish lifestyle.
Yeah, bro.
Being there. Obviously, that's the perks of being in a brilliant, like I guess in a very popular and modern city and having beaches and all that. But the city I'm in, Columbus, mate, it's a smaller city, but it's what I like. Very nature orientated, family orientated city. Very calm, no traffic, mate. Like from one end to the other end of the town, 15, 20 minutes, easy. You go to LA, you go to New York. LA is like 5 hour flight. New York's an hour and a half hour flight. But once you get to New York, to get from A to B, it takes you like 2 hours, bro. Like you got it's massive wave, traffic, a lot of people. That's why being in smaller cities, you have an advantage because you still have everything here you want, but it's just a lot easier to travel, move around, and everything.
Well, man, it's pretty inspiring to see how you're going now. But more inspiring for me is watching you play for the Socceroos because one of the interesting things that a lot of people don't know about you, and this is kind of going back to the AIS days, is that you played for the Joeys or the under-17s at the World Cup. And
in
then
Mexico,
kind of,
yep.
yeah, in Mexico, which, that was an unbelievable tournament. And we must give our respects to Dylan Tombides, former teammate of both of ours. And I actually played in his exhibition game for testicular cancer a few months ago, who was an absolute superstar and revelation at that World Cup. But Milos was also a big feature at that World Cup as well. But
not really.
Well, yeah. No, I tried to pop you up, bro.
got 2 cameos and ended up mate, look, it's honest, bro. Thank you for the nice words though, but I had a funny stint there. It was funny.
Yeah.
I remember I'm sorry that I interrupted you, mate. I'll let you continue,
man. Go.
Because I remember coming back from Mexico and I remember, I'm not sure if he's still alive, Ron Corey, the goalkeeper coach.
Shout out Ron Corey if he is. We love him.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh no! Tell me. Go. What did he say to you? He would have given you shit knowing Ron.
Best, mate. Oh, he was giving me shit, right? So good guy. No, all honesty, good guy.
No, but if Ron wasn't giving you shit, he didn't like you. If he was giving you shit, then he liked you. That's how I kind of gauged him.
So we came back to Sydney, right? And Ron's like, because I didn't play. I played 2 times 20 minutes. I'm not sure. And I remember Jan Desline, who was the coach, who was just don't really have. I mean, like different people, different opinions, but a good guy, obviously, good coach, maybe, and all that. But I just didn't really. I guess we didn't find our
connection
rhythm together.
Yeah,
exactly, mate. And I remember playing in the round of 16 of that World Cup and him playing Corey Brown on left fullback, playing central midfield, right, and me sitting on the bench. And I was playing the right fullback, left back, playing the right back, and then playing a left fullback, central midfield, and me sitting on the bench. And I was just like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember being upset. Obviously, being 16 years old, you're going to be upset, right? I got back.
Man, it's life or death back then, isn't it? Like you don't see beyond that World Cup. You think this is like is the biggest thing ever,
Exactly. This is my one and only chance to make something out of myself.
Yeah, you take everything to heart, bro.
Yeah. So I got back to Sydney and Ron Corey's like, because I was upset, right? I didn't say anything to anyone, right? And I was just really upset. And Ron, because everyone was wearing like like a blue T-shirt. I think that's Joey's one. And I wore like a different one. That's also part of the Joey's gear, but it was just a different colored one. It was a more relaxed one because we were on a fucking 15, 16-hour flight, right?
I can see where this is going.
And Ron's like, because of your fucking attitude, this is the last time you'll ever play for this country. This is the last time you'll ever put on an Australian shirt. This is your last trip ever. You will never get to see this country. You'll never get to play for this country again. And I was just like, bro, I'm 16. Relax your balls, brother. Chill, man.
You would have said that too.
I was just like, fucking relax, right? So,
funny that because fast forward, you're about to go to your second World Cup for the Socceroos, which is
bro.
more than most.
Yeah, and I was like, when I got my first ever call up for the World Cup, for the Socceroos with Ange Postecoglou, mate, I was looking everywhere to find Ron Corey's number.
Oh, bro!
It was like this was like 6-7 years ago, and I never found his number. I couldn't get in touch with him. I couldn't care less.
It's funny. It's funny how though, like little things like that, right? Like, but coaches maybe at the time, whether they realize it or they don't care, shit like that stays with you forever. Like that chip on your shoulder. I still remember stuff, man, stuff happened where Harmberger said if I didn't come to a camp because I was finally in the starting 11 at Adelaide, which took forever to get into because of the midfield.
Yeah.
As soon as I got in, there was a it was a no-purpose camp. It was just like to fill a gap, bit of preparation, but it was no tournament, not for points. And I tried not to go, and he said, "You'll never play for Young Socceroos again if you don't come." And I was like, "Bro, like what the fuck?"
Yeah, but you can't do that. Like that's just bad. You can't do that. You can't put a player in a situation where he's playing his club football, and you're like, "Well, if you don't come, you're never going to get called up again." Like, bro, what do you mean I'm never going to call up? You could be at the helm, like a football director in Australia for 2 years. You could be fucked off, and the next guy could be coming in and be like, "Well, Jake is the guy I want." You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing that puts me off so much about not in Australia, but anywhere in the world of football. It's just like you have these coaches and these sporting directors or just people in charge who think they know a lot more than they should. Mate, you can never tell a 14, 15, 16-year-old that he's never going to make it. You can never tell a 22-year-old he's never going to be a professional footballer.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't, mate. You look at like Kante, look at the Chelsea goalkeeper Mendy. At 24, 25, they're playing like third, fourth league in France.
Yeah.
You can't say they're not going to make it, mate. Now, one's one of the best goalkeepers in the world. The other one's the best holding midfielder in the world. Like, it's never too late, bro. Like, I get goosebumps now. It's never too late. Like, I say it's probably too late for me to play for Real Madrid. Yes.
You're one World Cup away, brother.
It's like one World Cup away, 3 games, 4 goals. You've got to keep 3 clean sheets. And, you know,
Hey.
like, it's not that hard.
You never know, bro. You never know.
Anything's possible. But I'm just saying, like, that's what drives me crazy is like the fact that people put a limit on you from a very young age, and that's just like fucking annoying, man.
Yeah, well, this might explain sort of the next phase of this because a lot of people don't know. After the AIS, you went to the Germany and you're playing in an academy there, which was one of the, I think what was the club called again?
Stuttgart.
Stuttgart. Yeah, sorry, because you played actually senior football there as well.
Yes.
But obviously Stuttgart's one of the biggest clubs in Germany. And I remember at the time I was like, I think there was a couple of under-20 squads. It was like all of a sudden being in the the pool of Australian players, you go overseas and then all of a sudden it was like you were cast out for some reason. I was like, fuck, man, Stuttgart's not like, it's a big deal. Even though you're playing through the youth ranks or whatever, the youth setup or the under-19s, whatever it may be. But there was a period where you actually, and I know you're super proud and you got a lot of pride around your Serbian heritage, but you actually experienced playing for Serbia as a kid as well, which a lot of people don't really know.
You're right. You know, as you said, you know, when I went overseas, it was like being outcasted from a national team. It was like, oh, he doesn't want to be a part of it. But I don't think that's right. Back then, like, 14, 15 years ago, they had kind of the feeling that whoever left the AIS or whoever left the A-League system didn't want to be a part of it. And I was like, well, why are you going to Europe? It wasn't me going to Europe because I didn't rate Australia. It was me going to Europe because I thought I could maybe achieve something. You know, I could maybe make it as a professional footballer in Europe where it's a lot harder to do. And I remember a lot of those camps. I never got invited. I didn't go to the Under-20s World Cup. I think you went to the Under-20s World Cup, or did you not go?
No, I went to the one where I was 17 or 18, and I didn't make the one where I should have gone.
Exactly. I know a lot of boys like Musti went, Terry went, a lot of the guys that were with us in the AS
Jamie went.
Chapman. Yeah, Connor Chapman, Jamie, Paul Izzo, I think, like Lawrence, the goalkeeper, and all that. But I was just like surprised, you know, I never got selected. But then Serbia come calling and were like, well, are you interested to play for our under-19s? And I was like, well, why not? You know, I'm getting the chance. I ended up playing, I think it was like 7 or 8 games for the under-19s. And then I had an issue with my passport because I hadn't lived in Serbia for longer than 5 years. And UEFA would not accept me being a full Serbian international because I hadn't lived in Serbia for 5 years. I lived in Yugoslavia, but I didn't live in Serbia as an independent state, in an independent country. So I had an issue there, and then that came to an end. Well, good that it came to an end because I ended up playing for the Socceroos. When that came to an end, you know, I just basically played club football for a while, and then I remember being called by Paul Ocon to come to a young Socceroos, Olyroos camp.
Yeah.
And this was after me being 3 years in Europe, and me not seeing my mum for about 2.5 years, and my dad and no one. And Paul's like, well, come, we've got a friendly camp in Thailand. It's 2 weeks, it's 2 games. And I was like, I'm willing to come, but like if it's just a friendly camp and you just are having a look into a lot of the players who are playing in Europe, I was like, well, mate, I haven't had a rest for about 2.5 years. I haven't seen my parents. I'm going to stay in Europe and just be on a 2-3 week break with my mum and dad. I haven't seen them. I'm a fucking 17, 18-year-old. I miss my parents. I left home when I was 14, the same like you, bro. Like, we haven't had the childhood where we had mum to make us a Nutella sandwich or dad to go play catch with us. You know what I mean? Like, we had a different life. We had a different childhood. We had a fucking completely different life. And Paul Ocon's like, well, if you don't come, you're never going to be selected in the squads. And I was like, well, if that's the case, mate, then that's your loss. That's the way it is. It is, and I'm happy to accept that, and I'm happy to accept that, to see my parents. And that's the way it is. And I ended up not going. I didn't get selected into Ollie Roo's Olympic team. And then I think Vidmar, not Tony Vidmar, Aurelio Vidmar was the coach after that for.
That's right.
Was it? Yeah, I think he was the coach for a generation after that. And he called me, and I went in to play 2 games. Really respectful, really good guy.
Yeah.
Had a good time with him, and I loved it. And then after that, I think 2 years or a year after that, I got called by Ange into the Socceroos, which was the most amazing feeling in the world, man. I thought it was a joke. I had a message from, you probably know him, Joel Frame.
Yeah. Is Joel Frame the one that puts out the messages?
Yeah, so Joel was the team manager back then.
Yeah.
And Joel's like, hit me up with a text like, oh, you've been selected in the squad. And I'm like, it's a fucking joke. I haven't heard from you for about 5 years. We're doing like, send me a message. And I got called in. It was a friendly against England in Sunderland, and that was the best experience of my life, man.
Yeah, well, just on that, I think your debut, right? You put in a perler of a ball and hit Eric Dyer's head in for an own goal. So you had an assist on your debut. Yeah. But we lost 2-1 though, right? But you had an assist. 2-1
to England, exactly. And I was planned to go just for the 5 days training. If I play, I play. If not, that was it. And then the boys were flying back to play Greece twice, one in Sydney, one in Melbourne, right? 2 friendly games. Mate, it was the best experience of my life. Like, I got in, I saw Mile Jedinak, I saw Tim Cahill, Mark Milligan, like Matt Mackay, I saw Matty Ryan, obviously, who I've known for a while, and some guys, mate. But when I saw Mile Jedinak and Mark Milligan, Mile is just like the guy that I look up to so much. Like, he is, mate, Mile for me, Jedinak is, it's like Mile Jedinak, and then everyone else. And then it's just like him. He's the pinnacle for me for character, personality, the way he is as a footballer, the way he holds himself as a leader, as a captain. He's such a nice guy. And he's one of the few guys that I speak to very often. And he's a very, very good guy, gives you the best advice, and I love him to death, mate. I think he's one of the greatest captains Australia's ever had, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion, greatest captains that Australia's ever had, man. The guy literally almost single-handedly put us in the World Cup in 2018, scoring 3 goals against Honduras,
Yeah.
All credit to Timmy for scoring goals against Syria. All credit to everyone else, But for me, Mile is Mile.
He's a special guy, man. He kind of, people forget that he captained Crystal Palace and Aston Villa, in the Premier League. Do you know? I know he was great for the Socceroos, but I defy anyone to you could count probably 2 or 3 people in Australian history that have captained. Maybe Lucas Neal, and I don't think I don't know if there's anyone else that's captained a Premier League club.
Maybe Schwarzer.
Maybe, but they wouldn't have been captains of the club. They would have been wearing the armband for games.
Yeah. Exactly, Timmy would have wore it for Everton for some games and all that.
Yeah, I'm sure Viduka did as well.
Exactly, it wouldn't have been a guy who was captain for 5 years, bro.
Mental,
you know what I mean?
Mental.
You don't understand how big that is. He's absolutely amazingly respected in Palace, from what I know and from what I hear from a lot of other people. The guy's like a god then, you know what I mean? And that's a credit to him. But back to the game, playing the friendly, and Ange puts me in. And I was meant to be there just for that. And after the game, I was really happy, obviously devastated we lost, but I was happy I got my debut. And Ange comes to me, mate, and I was like petrified of Ange, like one of the best coaches I've ever had, and like Ange comes and is like, "You're meant to be here just for this game, but I'm going to take you back to Sydney and Melbourne with us for the other 2 games. So I want to see more of you." And I was like, "Oh, really?"
That's
like,
massive, bro.
And I didn't pack, bro. I literally packed.
Oh, so you were just going. So that was like they were straight from that game. They were coming back to Australia, and you weren't going to be part of that extension trip.
Exactly. I wasn't meant to be part of the extended trip back. So I literally had like a backpack and a pair of boots, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And Joel Frame comes to me, he's like, "Oh, mate, we're gonna have to get you onto a flight with us, but there's no like business class seats because the boys fly business, right? Because long trips." I was like, "Mate, I just put me on down with carriage. I couldn't care less. Like with luggage, put me down there." I was like, mate, I was like, "I'll take a boat if I have to, as long as I get there." Like I couldn't care how I travel. And we got to the airport, and I think one of the staff members was like, "Look, mate, taking my seat, because you're probably going to play and I'm not playing." And I was like very grateful. It was my first time flying business class in a plane, bro. I was like, you can lie down here, you can like have free food, drinks, like chocolates. And I was like, wow, you guys have the life, man.
Wow, that's incredible, bro. That's incredible.
Yeah. And then I made my full debut in Sydney against Greece. We won 1-0, and it was one of my most memorable and loving games that I ever played for the country, mate. I loved that game, and I played really well. And I was like, that was basically like the start of me being part of the Socceroos. And ever since then, I've been called up into like every camp where I was fit and healthy, every camp. And even now, it's the best thing, mate. Once you get that phone call or that message, coming into camp and you come there, it's just so relaxed. Like, it's so fun, bro. It's like a band of brothers, bro. Like everyone's like really friendly. Everyone's happy to see each other, and we're all from different like backgrounds. Like you have Aziz who's Turkish, I'm Serbian. You got Freyan who's Croatian, Hrustic who's Bosnian. You got Boyley who's Scottish. You got like, you know what I mean? Like it's just a bunch of different guys. Awa who's from Africa. Who else is there? That's like of a different background.
Oh, there's heaps, man. I think almost every single player's got a different background, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Like everyone comes in and we're like all playing for Australia and we're all like happy, and it's a really good environment. What Arnie's done now is immaculate, mate, and to get us to the World Cup the way he did and the way the boys played these qualifiers is really good, and it's a testament to Arnie and what he's done, and it shows that him being in the A-League and winning back-to-back titles in the A-League wasn't just like because of the team, but it was obviously because he's a really good coach and he's got good staff and good people around him. So it's it's really good. And I think that the national team at the moment is a really cool environment, and it's something we all look forward to going into camps.
Well, that's special, man, because I think a lot of people wrote the Socceroos off pretty early in the qualifications. Everyone was naming it's not the best Socceroos squad ever. It's not this, it's not that. And then look what's happened. I mean, you've qualified for the 5th World Cup in a row. And I always thought, I'm like, there must be a really good culture and environment in that squad for what you guys went through towards the latter stages of that qualifications. It's got to obviously take something special for you guys to get through that, because that was tough, man. Great Socceroos teams of the past haven't been able to come through storms like that, So I do want to ask you though, before we talk about the upcoming World Cup and pray that you're fit and healthy, because no doubt you'll be there. But you were fortunate enough to experience the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Now, for people like me and Braden here who don't get to be a Socceroos player at the World Cup, just tell me what that event is like and how massive it is, and obviously in preparation for another big one in 2022 as well.
Look, I get goosebumps. Literally, I've got goosebumps. Like I'm proper, like, because talking about a World Cup and things like that, and it's always hard to explain. Like, when people say, "Oh, the world stands still," right, for a game, the world stands still for the World Cup final, the world stands still for a Champions League final, mate. The World Cup is like, once you land in the country where the World Cup is at, like even a little banner on like a light post gets you going. Like it's just like you touch down, right? You walk out of the plane and it's like, "Welcome to Russia, World Cup 2018." And you have like a lot of Russian people greeting you there with like local treats, and things like that. And you just like you get into the car, the bus, and then the bus takes away with the police, and the roads are all blocked, and there's just like signs over Russia World Cup, welcome to Kazan, where we were staying. You get your own hotel, you get your own training ground, bro, and it's just like this is all made for us to play football. And it's just like, why? Why is this so big? Why is it so like? It's so good. It's so good, man. Like, it's like it's hard to explain. It's like it's the best feeling, man. And you walk into the like when on game days. I was fortunate enough to be part of the squad. I wasn't lucky enough to get on the pitch and play, but to experience going there, having a full stadium, playing against France, Denmark, and Peru, and just being able to say you went to a World Cup is like. It's like the best thing in the world, man. Like,
yeah, bro, that's special, isn't it? Like you can never take that away from you. You can never take that away from you.
You can't take it away. You can't take that away. And it's like being at a World Cup and we played against the winners, France. They barely beat us by a fluky goal.
I said this actually just to a friend the other day, and it's kind of true with when Italy won the World Cup, but the Socceroos were the closest to beating France at the World Cup that they won, in a sense.
Exactly.
Hey? Like, if it wasn't that lucky chip that I don't know how it bounced under the crossbar and in from Pogba, we would have had a draw.
We would have drew. Yeah. And you know what I say now about the World Cup in Qatar? This might sound a bit like cocky and funny. But, like, you know what the World Cup curse is, the World Cup winners curse.
Yeah, they don't get out of the group the next time. Yeah, believe me.
Right? So basically this group stage for us is a battle between us, Tunisia, and Denmark, who's going to get out of the group.
Do you know what, though? It's everyone says, because, like, you can't go past the team on paper with France, but it's so true. France either are in the World Cup final or they don't get out of the group. Do you know what I mean?
Like, you couldn't. Right, 1998, they win the World Cup, right? Then 2002, everyone's like, wow, Henry, Vieira, Trezeguet, Zidane, Petit, Barthez, Desailly, Thuram, oh, mate, Lizarazu, Perez, blah, blah, like, immaculate squad, right? One of the best footballing squad in the world. They didn't get out of the group.
I'm pretty sure they lost to Senegal.
They lost to Senegal. They didn't win a game, right? So they didn't get out of the group. Then you have Brazil in 2006
final.
Not Brazil. Yeah.
Oh, that France. Sorry, I was talking about.
Yeah. You have Italy who didn't get out of the group in 2014.
Yeah.
I didn't even make it.
Well,
they didn't get out of the group.
Yeah.
They didn't get out of the group. They were New Zealand's group, weren't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they were. They had that's when New Zealand had like 3 draws or something.
Yeah. And then you have Germany in 2018 who don't get out of the group, who get beat by Korea, Mexico, and Egypt, or who was in their group, I'm not sure. So it's like, I'm pretty confident we're going to beat France, right? So I'm pretty confident.
Oh, you've heard it here, mate. The Unlaced podcast, an exclusive. We're coming for France, bro. Jesus. I love the confidence, man.
I will actually laugh my head off if we beat France and they don't get out of the group.
Believe me, this clip of now will be circulating like no tomorrow the next morning. That's for sure. So
this will be the best commercial and advertisement for your podcast.
Ever. I'll be hammering it, bro. Believe me. But mate, I just want to round this out. Obviously, you've given so much to the game, and we've spoken about the international experience. But I do just want to talk through the UEFA Champions League, and I know you've played in the Europa League and you've won many titles, which will probably be more of a conversation for another time. But the UEFA Champions League, now I'm happy to say that I've had A1 Mabil and yourself. We've had 2 Champions League players on the podcast, which Champions League's the biggest, outside of the World Cup's the biggest competition in the world. It's all the best teams in Europe. And you've been fortunate enough to experience it twice now across 2 seasons at Red Star. So, again, bro, just talk me through Champions League nights, playing for Red Star Belgrade.
I will, mate. But, like, to get a hype of the Champions League is, like, one thing. On today, 29th of August, we're in August, right? 29th of August, 2018 we had our last qualifying game for the Champions League. We played against Red Bull Salzburg in Salzburg, and I ended up assisting the goal. I ended up assisting 2 goals, which ended up for us being 2-2, and we ended up qualifying for the Champions League on away goals, right? And so that happened on today's day. And then we got drawn into a group in 2018 with Liverpool, Napoli, and Paris, which, I mean, like, basically it's a group of death.
Yeah.
It's like, for these guys, it's a group of death. And for us, it's just like, oh, it's massive. Like, it's just massive.
It's an honour. It's an honour.
Yeah. So we get the draw and we're all like excited. We're obviously all thinking like, all right, 4-0 here, 5-0 here, 4-0 here. And then we got to try to do something at home, right, to not get us embarrassed that much. Try to keep at least to 2 or 3-0 if we can. So we played the first game against Napoli at home. And, bro, this is like, when I say hype, like I can send you clips of our stadium in these Champions League games, mate. It was like 65,000 people packed to the rafters. You couldn't drop like a pin. You couldn't drop a pin in the stadium, and like the choreography, the whole stadium's like coloured, and like, you know, we're walking out and like you got like Insigne, Mertens, like Milik, Hamsik, all these guys, you know, walking out. Koulibaly for Napoli. That's our first
great
game.
Napoli team that was.
Bro, we're playing Champions League at home. Like, Napoli's on attack 90 minutes. Like, they hit the bar, goalkeeper saves, post, bar. We end up drawing 0-0, right? With Napoli, and we split this group. Like, we turned the group on its head, right? Like, because we drew with Napoli, Liverpool beats Paris. Like, Liverpool's first, we're second, and we're like, we're getting out of this group easy, lads.
Here we go, lads.
Here we go, lads. And like, best thing, right? Like, we're all like laughing ourselves. Like listen to this, bro. Like, there's levels to this, right? Like, so after the game, like, one of the players that plays for Napoli, a central defender, played for Red Star, a Serbian guy, comes in and like brings like a massive bag of like all the players' jerseys. Like, he brings like 30 jerseys of like all the players, right? And he's like, oh, the boys gave you these jerseys obviously to trade, and we're like taking our shirts to give it back to him, to take it back to the change room. Like, our Gishud runs and like collects everyone's jerseys. Like, you can't give that. We need that for the next game.
That's the difference, huh? That's the levels.
Oh, bro, it was the funniest shit. And we're like, come on, bro. It's a fucking jersey. Like, $120 a jersey. Like, you can't be serious.
You can't buy that experience, bro. You need to give that away.
Nah.
Fuck's sake.
Like, I ended up not giving my jersey. I kept my game jersey, and I ended up taking 2 jerseys from the Napoli players. I ended up being in the Champions League best 11 of the round. For the first round, I ended up being in the best 11. So it was like, I think it was, I've got a photo on my old phone. I don't have it here, but I think it was me.
You're going to have to send me that.
I will. It's on my phone in Serbia, but I'll try find it. I'll try find it on my phone. I'll send it to you. I think it was like me. Was it me and Thiago Silva at the back with like it was something ridiculous, bro. I was like some world class players and just me from Red Star Belgrade.
I love that.
And then we end up playing at Anfield, and you know how everyone's like, oh, Anfield, immaculate atmosphere, don't touch the sign, blah, blah, blah. We ended up playing there. We got battered 4-0, 4-1, or 4-0. 4-0, we got battered. It was Mane and Salah and Firmino having a laugh. You know, it was like, but it was unbelievable experience to play at Anfield, full Anfield Champions League nights, the best thing in the world, right? But what's even better, bro? I was thinking today, I'll have to tell you the story. I was like, we're playing in Paris, right? We're playing PSG, Neymar, Mbappe, Di Maria, Cavani, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos. Like, it's just it's ridiculous, bro. Like, this squad is ridiculous, and we're doing proper warm-ups, like possession sprints, warming up. And like Paris is like Mbappe, Neymar, Di Maria and Cavani hitting free kicks for no joke about 15, 20 minutes in a warm-up. Not one single sprint, not one single set of possession. And we're walking out of the tunnel in Paris. Neymar doesn't even have his shoelaces tied up. And it's not a lie, mate. It's the best thing. Like it's a shit thing, but it's the best thing. And he megs me on that game. Like, he put the ball through my legs. I don't even know how he done it. Like, it's the best thing is it's on replay in like all the Champions League, all skills. Like, every year it gets replayed somewhere.
Oh no,
right?
no.
So, and he didn't even have his shoelaces tied, and the game starts. And like after 10 minutes, the guy's like on his knee tying his shoelaces and scores 2 free kicks from about 35 meters out. Like, no joke. We lose 6-1. The guys are of a different planet. Like, there's there's levels to players, and then there's like Neymar, Di Maria. Like this is just like, this is different class, different level, mate. And then we ended up playing Liverpool. We play Liverpool at home, like the great Liverpool. We beat Liverpool 2-0 at home. At home.
Massive.
Right. I get in the best 11 again. So that's 4 games in the Champions League, 2 times in the best 11. Right. And I was like, wow, I'm getting a big move. Like,
Real Madrid is coming.
I'm thinking like these big boys are coming knocking on the door in about 3 months. So I'm just going to get prepared. Where are we going? I'm like talking to my brother. I'm like, so what are we doing? Where are we going? Which club are we going to? Where do you want to go? Do you want to go somewhere it's a bit warmer? Spain, Portugal, Italy? What are we going to do? We're going to go up somewhere it's a bit cold in England. And my brother's like, just relax, wait. So that was ridiculous. And then the year following, we played Spurs, we played Bayern Munich. And again, that's you talk about number 9s, Harry Kane and Lewandowski is just, it's killer, mate. Half a chance goal. We lost to Bayern 3-0 away. We lost at home. It was like 6-0. The guys, like German mentality, mate. Like it was 5-0. Thomas Müller comes in the 85th minute. He's like, "Come on, we're gonna get one more." And I'm like, "Bro, it's 5-0, bro. Relax." Like
just different mentality.
We're dead. Like we're dead, bro. And they scored a 6. The guy's celebrating his head off. Right? And I'm like, "Bro, we're dead. Like, come on, relax, bro. Like, you earn a month what all of us earn in a year, bro. There's levels to this game, son."
Oh, Milos, Degenek, mate. Not bad from a boy from Westfields in Sydney, huh? When we talk about
not bad.
Not bad at all, man. Brushing shoulders with the greatest in the game, man.
Good experiences, mate.
I'm very, very proud to see where you're going, man. Very proud to see where you've gone as well. And obviously a big year ahead at Columbus Crew and the World Cup in Qatar, baby. It's going to be big, and no doubt I'm excited to see you there and hoping that you're fit and healthy for the major tournament, bro. But thank you for coming on, bro. It's been a long-awaited show. We're going to have to get over there and watch you play a game, no doubt.
Thank you, mate. And it's a pleasure to be on your show. And obviously you and all your crew there are invited to be anywhere whether I stay here or go elsewhere. You guys are invited to be my guest for a while and come watch some games. And when next time I'm in Australia, obviously we play New Zealand, I think next month in Brisbane, if I'm not wrong. If we can organise that, I'd love to have you guys come up and watch the game and sit down and have a coffee.
Absolutely, bro. We'll probably be there, no doubt, man. But thank you so much, man. I know it's nighttime there, so I'll let you go. But
good, mate. I'm not doing nothing. Continue watching TV.
Oh, good, bro. Good. Well, I'll speak to you soon, brother. We're gonna have to get you back on the show for sure, no doubt.
I'd love to be back on, mate. I love having a chat, and it's obviously good to catch up with people that I know and that I respect. So thank you for having me.